Hello? 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 I can. Yes. How are you? Okay. How old are you? So how has things changed since the video?
Well, um, let's see. It's a little bit of a long story, but I guess I think I found out about your work through an unconventional kind of route. I didn't find out about it through that video. I don't know if you know about a professor. He's based in California. His name is T. Hassan Johnson.
Yeah, I know Dr. Tia Son Johnson. Black
Mhm.
masculine studies.
Yes, so I um, uh, watched some of his videos. And so he
hmm
mentioned you a couple times.
hmm
Um, and so I decided then to find you on YouTube and I started watching your videos. And so it's so funny because I really empathize with a lot of the female callers who like are very like combative and very like aggressive and defensive when they call in because first, like to the audience, I think that it is quite a hot seat. So I guess kudos to you for, I guess, that. Because it's not just, I think it is a lot of, I feel like it's a lot of pressure. I think a lot of women are self-conscious, especially if, they're not used to speaking publicly, they have no marketing experience, it is a very like um I think it takes a lot of courage. So even though like sometimes women like act foolishly under all that pressure, like I understand like the emotional like as you say, we are emotional creatures. So I can understand how like some women kind of like start like acting a fool. But
Okay. Would you say you
I
can
think
sympathize with the women that call in what regard?
just sometimes like women are very clearly nervous, like I can tell like sometimes women like trip over their words or they like get stuck on a certain like issue and you're trying to move it along like, okay ma'am, we've gotten to that point, we know X, Y, and Z about you, I'm trying to move it along, but she can't really seem to keep up. Like I understand that part of that is just the magnitude of being on a show with this much viewership, especially if it's your first time doing that kind
Okay.
of thing. But
But I guess the word I'm looking at is combative, though. Why can you sympathize with them being combative?
well, I think it's partially a lot of the things that I learned from Dr. Johnson and other like people who study Black people professionally, because I don't. But there are people who like go to school for years. I mean,
Yeah,
they go to
yeah, I
school
get
for
it.
their.
I get
So
it. But
like
but you
I
have to.
anyway, but like I
Yeah, yeah.
understand that like a lot of Black women like might not have a very good educational background, like, or a lot of Black women might
Is
come
that
from a broken
is that?
home.
So let me ask you a question. If you watch my show, I think. Well, that's why when I hear these things, what are some of the things that Black women, as an ethnic image, are the most proud of? Yeah,
I think we're proud of. Uh,
going to
I think
college, about their
yes,
education.
certainly education is a high. We certainly like to be
So,
educated. We like our
so,
degrees.
so you can't want a pat on the back from the world for being the most educated, and then turn around and say, "Well, we lack education."
Well, it is an interesting dilemma, but I think that you
It's
would
an.
admit that the
I think
Black
it's an
community
interest. I
somehow
think it's.
manages
Oh
to have a
no!
lot
Oh
of
no! Oh you!
degrees.
No! 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 We have a lot of degree. A lot of. I think it's an interesting dilemma that if black women that you're referring to came and acted in their corporate world like they came onto this show, or acted in an educational environments like they acted on the show, what do you think the outcomes would be?
Well, I think there would certainly be disciplinary.
So
Um,
but the point is,
but
they
Black women
know
are
how. Their
disciplined
point,
in school.
they go.
So
My point is, black women have shown that they know how to act when their job or their education is on the line.
I mean, you can say that, but if you go to World Star, there's lots of evidence that shows that Black women sometimes don't know how. You know, sometimes
I don't think World Star Hip Hop is a good cross section of black corporate presence.
that's true, but even your content has gained traction through that
And
website.
how unlikely is it to see a corporate 52-year-old black man on World Star?
Well, now it's quite common. You're
It's
all over
not
World
very
Star.
common.
And
I.
also other
Oh,
Black men who are
you
like
can't
hip
over, you
hop.
can't see right now. You're doing exactly
Well,
what I'm talking
I'm
about.
just trying to
You're
explain
over
myself, sir.
talking me. And you were, how old are you? How old are you? See, there's a low level lack of respect and a form of contempt to where you're going to be right no matter what I say. Now,
I'm 25, to
right,
answer your question,
you're
sir.
half my age, and I have to continue to raise my voice to overtalk you on a show that I'm running. And I'm saying, did you go to college?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you behave this way with your professors when they said something that rubbed you the wrong way?
Indeed, I did.
Hmm. Do you have a job?
Indeed, I do.
And do you behave this way at work?
I have in certain situations.
Hmm. And you're 25. What are young lady? There's you can be right and still wrong,
I absolutely
and
agree.
there's no justification for women acting inappropriately just because they're in their emotions.
I agree.
So that's all I'm ultimately saying is one of the biggest problems men have is women tend to justify and refuse to take accountability for a multitude of things. They're always looking for reasons, and men look at it. Racism, white supremacy, Jim Crow, I didn't have a daddy, this, that. No, it's his personal choice too.
I truly, I truly sympathize, sir, with Black men's frustration with Black women. That's one of the reasons why I chose to call in. It's one of the reasons why, in some ways, I would consider myself a fan of yours to some degree. But what I really wanted to say, I really wanted to answer the original question of the show, and that is, um, when I started really listening to a lot of your videos, I had that emotional, like, at first, I was kind of honestly repulsed by some of the things that you said. But I listened and listened because I trusted Dr. Johnson. And I was like, this man wouldn't refer me to a bad source. And after I was able to control my emotions and listen, I was able to recognize the truth. And also that to I think that you are coming from a place of good faith, you know. I think your tone is very like blunt and to the point, but you're a man, you're 52. You know, I don't expect a 52-year-old to be, you know, beating around the bush anymore, especially considering the crisis that is the state of Black relationships. So I'm very grateful, you know, because
So let me ask you this: 25. Okay, what I'm saying is no different than what would have come out of if you've ever been around the Nation of Islam, Farrakhan. You think what I say is tough? The church I grew up in. I think the fact of the matter you're repulsed, your word, is because there's a vacuum, an absence of black male authority in our culture. To where when you hear a man speak as a man, it's offensive.
agree. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a tragedy. And I think, I'm very excited when I hear you propose ideas like starting like a black male like media, like I don't know, network or like entity that can rival like these white media production companies and help elevate a positive black male image. I am all for it because I remember I was still
What
an
would your role do
undergrad.
you what would your role be in any of do you want to be married one day?
I I hope to. I do.
You want children?
I do.
Do you want a modern relationship or do you want a more traditional relationship?
I I think in the end it depends on the man who picks me and what he wants. We'll have to negotiate it.
Do you want a modern relationship or a more traditional relationship?
What do you mean by a modern relationship?
A modern relationship where you have a partner. A traditional relationship where there's gender roles and hierarchies.
Hmm. Well, the thing is, yes, I would like a traditional relationship, but traditional from my tradition. And I'm
What
not sure that
what is
my
tradition?
tradition is the same as some white European man's tradition or your tradition or some
What is hold
Latino
on
Enrique's tradition.
hold on. What is your tradition?
I'm from West Africa.
Okay. Uh, right. And your tradition is the man a leader or the woman?
Uh, let's
Careful now.
see. It's
Careful.
usually,
Careful. Careful.
have you heard of a term called lineal? Uh, twin lineal like societies. So in the Western framework, it's very common for the man to be dominant and the woman to be subsumed. But if you look at indigenous African cultures and a lot of indigenous American cultures, there was no domination of the woman at all. In fact, in a lot of these cultures, the woman was
Oh,
elevated
this is
above the
okay.
man.
This is why we have so many different ways of doing stuff, and
Exactly.
but the problem
And
is,
everybody's way
oh
works differently. The
no,
Chinaman
we're
does the
not. No, we're not.
Chinaman.
No,
The Arabian
see, you're
man
over
does the
talking me
Arabian
right
man.
there. This is the problem. All that bullshit you're talking
Okay.
is bullshit.
It's not though.
Western Africa is
Oh,
not
but
a they're not a it's not a powerhouse. Name me powerhouses in economies in Western Africa. This twin lineal, matrilineal,
uh-huh,
unilineal, it still
uh-huh.
comes out to some sort of modern manifestation of a relationship where you don't have to follow anybody except what you want to
That's
do.
not
You can't even shut the fuck up for a conversation. Dr. Tia Johnson, if this problem, this is what pisses women off about my videos because they've been outed. Women like her are upset because they've been outed. There's a spotlight on their bad behavior. What man of any sort of value wants to feel that kind of to deal with that disagreeable nature? See, that shit used to pass for passion and education. And I'm an alpha female, a boss chick. That doesn't pass anymore. It gets called out.
Hey guys, welcome back to Spotlight. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And before we proceed, let's give respect to Mr. Kevin Samuels for his good work and for whatever content he has. Let may his legacy stay forever and may his work stay forever because he has more amazing work. Here in these videos, we talk about feminism, we talk about marriage, we talk about situationships, we talk about courtship, we talk about love, we talk about all related stuff and communication skills. That is the key because a lot of ladies come in with low self-esteem and lack of communication, which is not good. First of all, in this video we are looking at this lady. Allow me to say she thinks she lose the argument when she started speaking nonsense. First of all, me personally, I lost my interest when she started like every time like almost 27 times she's using like That is the first red flag. It's like she is lying. She's not sure about herself. That's why when they told her, Mom, you're lying, and she had to go on top of her voice because she wanted to prove a point that what she's speaking is the right thing. Yet she was speaking only nonsense, because you can't come into for advice and you're speaking on top of your voice. You're trying to prove the person you've come into the interview that you can speak more than how they speak. So I think this lady looks so confused and stressed. Let me tell you, the way she is speaking, I hope she is depressed. Can I use that? Yeah, she looks to be depressed. You know, when someone is depressed, they think they can speak wherever they are. Actually, at times I call these people narcissists. She looks to be a narcissist, because how can you come, even she is just arguing, trying to prove a point whereby she is not listening to what she is speaking. She is just speaking out of the blue to prove that she can speak nonsense, or she can speak on top of her voice, but she is not really listening. It's like she was there confused, and she is lacking she's lacking someone to argue with, and she decided to come. This is where communication skills comes in. You can't come into someone's show and you're speaking on top of your voice, and it isn't your show. You're not the interviewer, and it's you called for help, but it's like you want to speak on top of your voice to advise that someone you called for, and for what? For advice. This is where my credit goes to Mr. KS, because this man was very intelligent. Guys, just imagine dealing with such characters of ladies, and remember they were coming in different phases to prove, and now this one is just too much. Just imagine that lady being your wife at home. What happens when she is your wife at home? Then that means the house will be on fire, because she has to prove to you that she can speak on top of her voice, which doesn't really work at all, because nothing, she is just spitting out nonsense, because at the end of the day, she is not listening. The way she's speaking as if she wants to be heard more. Yet, it can't even work out that way, because you can't speak just like that. You can't be... And first of all, ladies, let me tell you, the way you speak is the way someone is going to respect you. There is no way you're going to ask for respect, yet you're speaking only nonsense, yet you're speaking out of disrespect. You're already disrespecting the person you're speaking to. Then how will you at the same point be like, I'm going to look for man? That means you're going to disrespect the man you're going to get, because you think you can speak a lot. But a right person should sit and analyze what they're going to speak. Is this really worth speaking? Is this really worth going out of my mouth? Is this really going to work? Is this the real answer? And first of all, this is what I always say. There is no way you're going to work on your present and you're running away from your past. You have to first sit and be like, yes, you admit the past, then you work on your present. Then if you can't work on if you can't admit your past life, there is no way you're going to work on your present, because you're going to live a denial life. You're going to live a life whereby you're denied access to your life because you lied at the same point. This is where I always say, if you start anything with a lie, it's going to end with a lie, because every day you have to look for something to defend your lie, to defend your life. That's why you see she is talking a lot to prove her nonsense, yet it is not even worthy it. What she's speaking, it's not worthy. She is just living in a denial world. Do you know living in a denial world? Yet you know the truth in your heart, but you're running away from the truth and you're denying away from the truth, yet that it is. So guys, this has been the last commentary of our video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to follow for more updates and for more details. Love you all. May God bless you and stay tuned.